Have you ever wondered why vaping has become so popular among young people? It seems like an overnight phenomenon, doesn't it? One day the world was smoking traditional cigarettes. The next, everyone was puffing on these sleek, high-tech devices, with teens being among the most enthusiastic adopters. So, what brought about this seismic shift? Well, several factors have contributed to the meteoric rise of vaping, especially among teenagers. First and foremost, vaping has been marketed as a safer alternative to smoking traditional cigarettes. The absence of tear and the reduced number of chemicals have led many to believe that e-cigarettes are a healthier choice. However, it's important to note that safer doesn't necessarily mean safe. Secondly, there's the social acceptance. Vaping has been seen as trendy, modern, and cool. It's become a social norm, a part of the youth culture. The vapor-filled clouds, the tricks one can do with them, and the sleek design of the devices themselves all contribute to this image of modernity and coolness. Another major factor is the availability of flavored e-cigarettes, with options ranging from mint to mango, from bubblegum to berry. These flavors have made vaping more appealing, especially to young people. The sweet and fruity flavors mask the harshness of the nicotine, making it easier and more enjoyable to inhale. However, as appealing as these factors may seem, it's essential to remember that vaping is not without its risks. In fact, it carries several potential health hazards, and while it might seem like a harmless trend, especially with its fancy flavors and stylish devices, it's far from being a harmless pastime. The truth is, when it comes to our health, there's no such thing as a safe form of nicotine consumption, whether it's delivered via a traditional cigarette or a modern e-cigarette. Nicotine is a highly addictive substance that can lead to serious health issues. But is vaping a harmless trend or a dangerous habit? Let's delve deeper. What happens when young people start vaping? What are the causes and effects? Let's delve into the world of e-cigarettes, a realm filled with chemical components that can have profound effects on the body. The most notorious of these is nicotine, a highly addictive substance that quickly hooks its users. When young people start vaping, they're often unaware of the nicotine content in these devices, leading to a potential addiction. This addiction can then increase the likelihood of transitioning to traditional tobacco products, which carry even more health risks. E-cigarettes are not just about nicotine, though. They also contain other harmful substances such as propylene glycol and glycerin. When heated, these chemicals can form new compounds, some of which are toxic or carcinogenic. These substances are then inhaled into the lungs, potentially causing damage and leading to health problems such as bronchitis, asthma, and even chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. But the effects of vaping aren't limited to the lungs. The chemicals in e-cigarettes can also affect other parts of the body. For example, nicotine can raise blood pressure and spike adrenaline, increasing the heart rate and the likelihood of having a heart attack. Moreover, the flavorings in e-cigarettes, which are often what attract young people to vaping in the first place, are not as harmless as they may seem. Some of these flavorings contain chemicals that can cause a condition known as popcorn lung, a serious and irreversible lung disease. And let's not forget about the immediate effects on the brain. The nicotine in e-cigarettes can harm adolescent brain development, affecting parts of the brain responsible for attention, learning, mood, and impulse control. And these are just the immediate effects. let's now explore the long-term consequences. The prolonged impact of vaping can lead to an array of serious health issues, some of which may not become apparent until years down the line. So before you take that puff, think about the potential consequences. How does vaping affect the brain over time, particularly the dopamine levels? That's a question we should all be asking, especially considering the rising popularity of e-cigarettes and vaping devices. In order to answer this, we first need to understand what dopamine is. It's a type of chemical messenger called a neurotransmitter that our brain produces to help us feel pleasure and satisfaction as a part of our reward system. When you eat a delicious meal, accomplish a challenging task, or even just laugh at a good joke, that feeling of joy you experience is in part thanks to dopamine. Now, here's the kicker. Nicotine, the addictive substance found in e-cigarettes and vaping devices, has a significant impact on your brain's dopamine levels. When you inhale nicotine, it triggers the release of a surge of dopamine. This leads to feelings of pleasure and relaxation, which can be quite enticing. But that's not the whole story. The problem is that over time, with continuous exposure to nicotine, the brain starts to adjust to these high levels of dopamine. It begins to produce less dopamine on its own, and the receptors that receive dopamine signals start to decrease. This means that the things that used to bring you joy might not have the same effect anymore. You might find it harder to concentrate, your mood might become unstable, and you could even develop symptoms of depression. Moreover, as the brain becomes accustomed to the nicotine-induced dopamine highs, it starts to crave more. This can lead to addiction, where you feel compelled to vape just to feel normal and to stave off withdrawal symptoms. So, while the initial rush of dopamine might make vaping seem appealing, the long-term effects on your brain can be quite detrimental. It's not just about the temporary pleasure, it's about the lasting impact on your ability to feel happiness, focus on tasks, and maintain a stable mood. Clearly, vaping's impact on the brain is far from benign, but can young people avoid getting sucked into this trend? How can young people resist the allure of vaping? It's a question that's on many minds. And the answer isn't as simple as a yes or a no. It's about making informed choices, having the right support, and understanding the risks. One of the first steps to avoiding vaping is to surround yourself with positive influences. Find friends who support your decision not to vape. Friends who respect your choices and share your values can be a powerful defense against the pressure to try vaping. Understanding the risks is also key. We've talked about the potential harm vaping can do to your body and brain, but it's worth repeating. The long-term effects aren't fully known yet, but what we do know is alarming. Vaping can affect your brain's dopamine levels, which can lead to addiction. It can also harm your lungs and heart and lead to other serious health problems. Then there's the role of parents. Parents, you can set a good example by not vaping yourselves. Open conversations about vaping can also be incredibly helpful. Talk to your kids about the risks, the peer pressure, and the importance of making their own informed decisions. For those who are trying to quit vaping, there are several strategies to help. You can go for a walk, reflect on your life and future, or even chew sugar-free gum. Drinking lots of water can help, as can taking 10 deep breaths to calm your cravings. Keeping busy with a hobby like painting or drawing can also be a great distraction. Finally, remember that it's okay to ask for help. There are many resources available to support you, from hotlines to support groups to professionals who specialize in addiction recovery. Avoiding vaping might be a challenge, but it's not impossible. And there are healthier alternatives out there. So why not choose a path that promotes your well-being, not compromises it? What can you do instead of vaping? Is the question we've all been waiting for, and the answer is simpler than you might think. There are countless healthier, more beneficial alternatives to vaping that can keep you engaged, active, and most importantly, away from the vape pen. Let's start with hobbies. Rather than reaching for a vape, why not reach for a paintbrush or a sketchbook? Art is a fantastic way of expressing yourself, and it can also serve as a stress reliever. Or maybe you're more of a music person, playing an instrument, singing, or even just listening to your favorite tunes can help distract you from the urge to vape. Next, consider physical activities. Going for a walk or a run is not only good for your body, but it's also great for your mind. The fresh air, the sights and sounds of nature, they all work together to create a soothing environment that can help you forget about vaping. If you're looking for something a little less strenuous, try chewing sugar-free gum or sipping on some water. Both of these can help keep your mouth occupied and reduce cravings. And don't forget about deep breathing exercises. Taking 10 deep breaths when you feel the urge to vape can help calm your mind and refocus your attention. Lastly, remember to always keep busy. Whether it's with work, school, or personal projects, staying active and engaged is key to avoiding vaping. Remember, there's always a better choice than vaping. So, we've explored the complex world of vaping and its effects on young people. We've delved into the causes, consequences, and long-term effects, particularly on brain dopamine levels. We've also offered strategies to resist vaping, like hanging with supportive friends, and healthy alternatives, like taking walks, chewing sugar-free gum, and keeping busy with hobbies. If you're a parent, remember to lead by example and engage in open conversations about peer pressure. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and share this information with others. Together, we can help young people make healthier choices.